The Song of the Hollow Vale. The Hollow Vale was a place of mourning, its air heavy with the weight of unspoken sorrow. Nestled between two jagged cliffs, the vale was blanketed in mist that refused to lift, even under the brightest sun. It was said that the ghosts of those who died unremembered wandered the vale, their whispers carried on the wind. Eadric of Blackmere entered the vale at dusk, his footsteps muted on the moss-covered ground. He had come in search of a relic, the Lyrican Harp, an enchanted instrument said to ease the burden of grief. Stories claimed the harp's song could mend fractured hearts and bring peace to restless spirits. But the harp's power came with a cost. To play it, one had to confront the deepest pain within their soul. As Eadric walked deeper into the vale, the whispers began. At first, they were faint, like the rustling of leaves. But as he continued, they grew louder, forming words that clawed at his mind. "You could not save us, Eadric," the voices said, each one distinct, yet blending into a haunting chorus. "You left us to die." He stopped, his hand tightening on the hilt of vigilance. The voices were familiar. Valen, Isella, Kale, all the companions he had lost in his long crusade against the dragons. Their faces flashed before his eyes, pale and accusing. "I carry your memory," Eadric said aloud, his voice steady despite the ache in his chest. "But I cannot change what has passed." The whispers did not relent. Instead, they grew colder, their tone sharper. "Memory is not enough. We are forgotten. We are nothing." At the heart of the vale stood an ancient tree, its twisted branches reaching skyward like skeletal hands. Beneath the tree sat the Lyrican Harp, its strings shimmering like silver under the moonlight. But the harp was not unguarded. A figure stood beside it, cloaked in shadows. As Eadric approached, the figure stepped forward, revealing the weathered face of a man whose eyes held centuries of sorrow. "I am Elrius, keeper of the harp," the man said, his voice low and melodic. "Why have you come to this cursed place, Slayer?" "I seek the harp," Eadric replied. "There are those who suffer because of my failures. If the harp can ease their pain, I will claim it." Elrius's gaze hardened. "The harp is not a gift, it is a trial. Its strings sing only for those who dare to face their own grief." Eadric nodded. "Then I will face it." Elrius stepped aside, gesturing for Eadric to take the harp. As Eadric's fingers touched the strings, a chill ran through him. The harp was cold, yet it seemed to pulse faintly, as though alive. "Play," Elrius commanded. Eadric plucked a single string and the vale erupted with sound. The melody was haunting, weaving through the air like a living thing. As he played, the whispers returned, louder and more insistent. "You failed us, Eadric!" the voices cried. "You left us to die!" The melody faltered as Eadric's hands trembled. The faces of his fallen comrades appeared before him, their eyes filled with sorrow. "I did not abandon you," Eadric said, his voice breaking. "I fought for you. I mourned for you." "Then why do we remain?" the voices asked. "Why does our pain still linger?" Eadric closed his eyes, the harp's melody still flowing through him. He thought of Valen, who had dreamed of being a hero, Isella, who had sacrificed everything to save others, Kyle, who had been his closest friend. He had carried their loss for years, but he had never truly faced it. "I could not save you," he admitted, tears streaming down his face. "I was not strong enough. I failed you." The whispers grew quieter, their tone softer. "And yet you carried us." Eadric's fingers moved across the strings, the melody shifting into something gentler, more hopeful. He opened his eyes to see the faces of his comrades fading into the mist, their expressions no longer accusing but peaceful. "You cannot change the past," Elrius said, his voice breaking the silence. "But you can honor it. The harp's song is not meant to erase grief, it is meant to transform it." As the last note faded, the harp glowed faintly before returning to silence. Elrius stepped forward, his expression solemn. "You have played the song of the lost. The harp is now yours, but its burden is not light. Its song will heal others, but it will remind you of what you carry. Eadric nodded, his grip on the harp firm. I will carry it. Elrius smiled faintly. Go, Slayer. The veil no longer holds you. As Eadric turned to leave, the mist began to lift. The veil bathed in a soft golden light. For the first time in centuries, the Hollow Vale felt alive. Eadric emerged from the veil as dawn broke over Albion. The harp rested on his back, its strings silent but resonating faintly with his steps. He knew the path ahead would be no easier, but he carried with him something more precious than a weapon. He carried hope. The voices of his comrades no longer haunted him. Instead, they were a quiet presence, a reminder that even in failure, there is meaning. The Hollow Vale stood empty, its mist dissipated. But on the wind, a faint melody lingered, a song that spoke not of loss, but of remembrance. And somewhere in Albion, the first notes of the Lyrican Harp began to heal a broken world.